this is the Happy Weight Podcast. This is Aoife Dean, and today I am joined by Trisha and Jade. Thank you so much for being here, Trisha.
You're welcome, Aoife.
Why? Why are you making that face? She's making a face. I have no idea why she's making a face.
I'm making any
What
face.
did I say wrong?
Nothing.
Okay, nothing.
Sorry. I've been in Kilkenny too long.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. Okay, welcome, Jade.
Thank you. Delighted to be here.
Yay. So Trisha has been on the podcast before. Trisha is a yoga teacher. She holds women's circles. She holds retreats. All around badass. And
No, I'm an all-around badass. I don't hold retreats.
For badass.
badasses only. And Jade is kind of everything. Jade is like a healer also. You're a Reiki teacher. You do massage. You do creating peace with Jade. Catrice. I can't still believe that I didn't know that was your second name. And yeah, anything I missed out?
No, just jack of all trades, really.
Chakra dancing too.
Chakra dancing.
Yeah.
And sound bats.
Yes.
Sound bats, yeah.
I can vouch for the chakra dancing. Well, I can vouch for everything Trisha does as well. I also attend everything you do. Clearly a fan of both of you, otherwise you wouldn't be here. But yeah, so today we wanted to talk about manifestation. Bit of a wooey word, and I think some of us love the wooey word, and then some people go towards more the neuroscience, training your brain, reticular activating, like focusing your mind on something and then your brain sees it more often kind of side. But I'd say we're all the kind of wooey gang.
We're definitely wooey.
I was like, what were those words?
You're like, I didn't like any of the second part of that sentence.
I was like, that's very sciencey.
I know, but it is cool that there's science to it as well.
I know, yeah.
It's very, like, Joe Dispenza is very
Yes.
sciencey, isn't he? Like,
Yes.
Like, from a science kind of view.
Yeah. And I think as well, sorry, the girls are laughing at me because I'm a nice person, but when it comes to being close to the mic, I'm a horrible person. Making all these gestures and everything. But yes, he tells all the science about Joe Dispenza is unreal, isn't it?
Yeah, because my boyfriend wouldn't be big into the manifestation. He thinks that it's too wooey.
The word just automatically excludes people, doesn't it?
Really?
Or like gets people's back up or whatever.
Whereas I think the Joe Dispenza is a good way to get him into it, because he's more science orientated.
Yes.
I have a unnatural faith in things that I have no explanation for. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I have a faith. I have just such a deep faith that when people ask me to explain it, I'm like,
You can't.
I can't.
It's just
I don't
a belief.
I just feel it.
Yeah.
I sense it. I've experienced it, and then I feel like a weirdo, like a fool, because I'm like, I actually can't explain why I believe so deeply in something, but I know it in my soul.
Yeah.
But the outcome, the reason, the outcome is what's true. Either way, whether you get through science or whether it's through faith, whatever it is, the outcome is still the same. That manifestation does work. Right?
Yeah.
This is it. And I think, like, based on kind of the work I do and based on having weight problems, bulimia, binge eating disorder, I would kind of think that 90% of my healing was being in alignment of what I wanted to become. So I wanted to be a slim person who could eat whatever they wanted. I wanted to be able to be one of those people who's like, oh, I eat whatever I want and I don't put on weight. And it's kind of like through the being on that vibration, I did become that. But also I learned the T's and C's that those people leave out.
Yeah.
Which were
that, as a binge eater, I would have been, or as an overeater or whatever, I would be like, oh yeah, like I just eat all the crap all day long or whatever. Whereas a naturally slim person, it's like, I would eat whatever I want, but obviously I have no interest in feeling uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Obviously I have no interest in eating a food that no longer tastes nice because the first half of the packet was nicer. You know what I mean? But they're quite critical differences.
Yeah.
Like I've always been a person that doesn't put weight on. And I've always been able to eat whatever I want. But I can eat whatever I want. And like there's days where I binge, but there's also days that I don't eat at all.
Yeah.
And I don't kind of necessarily feel the need to have 3 meals a day.
Yeah.
And I've never really thought about food, I've never really had to think about food and stuff, whereas like my mom would be the complete opposite. And I'm just like, you don't have to eat every day.
Yeah.
If your body
Yeah.
doesn't need
If your
it.
body doesn't need it and your body doesn't want it, like that's okay. Like, but I think people have been trained into believing you need 3 meals a day, or you need to, I don't know.
And there's a lot that you're doing there as well, because on those days that you've got higher requirements and you go with it,
Yeah.
you don't judge it.
Listen to my body.
Yeah. Whereas if we were in a weight problem, like that's the whole thing. You can never kind of win when you've got a bad mindset with food, because on those days where we've a higher appetite, it'd be like, shit, don't eat anymore now. Like, oh my
Yeah.
God, you've already eaten so much. Like, or maybe, a day where you just naturally need more chocolate than any diet would ever recommend. It would be kind of like, oh my God. And then that has a kind of ripple effect then.
Yeah.
That you're like, then people try and overcorrect or have loads of guilt or loads of shame or whatever, where someone without eating issues would just be like, well, that was needed yesterday.
Yeah.
And
Today's a new
Today's
day.
a different
yeah,
day,
exactly.
Yeah.
Where's my body at today?
Yeah, exactly. So there's less control over it, in terms of it's
absolutely.
like, today I'm not hungry.
Yeah.
Or today I am hungry.
Some
but
days I could be starving and I'd eat all around me, but I would never feel guilty about that. It would never, I would never feel like, oh God, I shouldn't have done that or anything. It's just that was yesterday and today's a different day.
And it's kind of food abundance as well, because sure, that if you don't eat crisps today, it's grand. You could have them for breakfast.
Yeah.
You could have them at any time tomorrow. Whereas yet again, a dieter would be like, I might be being good tomorrow.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's now or never. Like, I've already slightly messed up today, so I might just have more crisps and fully mess up today.
Yeah.
And then be good tomorrow, which is kind of a different way of thinking.
Absolutely, yeah.
But how do we get onto that? I think we got onto that with... Oh, yes. Oh, I was kind of saying that's why I really wanted to do a podcast episode on this, because, like, if it wasn't for the dietitian stuff and all the rest of it, it's like, I really think, like, manifestation, being in alignment of what you want to become is pretty much enough to get anything.
Yeah.
And I wonder, are we already ready to jump into any tales? Does anyone have any tales of manifestation that they want to share? Trisha?
Do I? Yeah, I do. I love manifesting things.
Yes.
I think there's loads of examples. I've really good house karma. I always manifest houses. I think you've experienced a really good food karma, really good restaurant karma. I like the things that I firmly believe without any...
She does actually have good restaurant karma. Like, you go into a restaurant, there's no seats, it's booked out for the night, and
you'll get a seat.
I'm like, because I'm so obsessed with food, I'm like, in no way will I eat anything that I do not desire. I will only eat food that I want and that is good. And I walk up to the restaurant and I'm like,
there's manifestation in that, but also
it's who I am.
she kind of just doesn't move.
like we have to see this woman.
The host is like, I don't know what to tell you, and Trisha just is still staring at them, blank.
And I'm like, 2 people just left, so that could be our seat.
How about there?
And she's like, give me a minute. And I'm like, we'll wait.
But it is, I think it's both. I think it is both. Because it's like you have it in your mind's eye, you will be eating there, kind of thing. You will be eating somewhere nice.
Yeah, there's just no doubt. And there's no doubt. And complete trust that, like, I'll walk in there and I'll get that. Or like, it happens with jobs, or like... what else? Like, I remember one time I was in Venice and we literally never booked anywhere before we went there. We were doing like travel hopping, like from Austria down to Croatia. So we literally just traveled from day to day, any village, any town, anywhere. And that was really stressful because I was a complete control freak in my 20s and beyond.
Control is the opposite of manifestation, really, isn't it?
Yeah. Definitely have to surrender.
Trust is manifestation.
But like one thing I wasn't going to do as a Taurus was be sleeping somewhere that wasn't comfortable. So in my head I was like, in no world will I ever not get a bed. Like that was just always it. Like peak season, Venice was like crazy to even expect you to get a bed. We walk into this like gorgeous hotel on the water, like, and these 2 people in front of us were like, we'd like a room. They're like, sorry, we've no room. And the girls are like, okay, come on, let's leave. And I walk up and I was like, we're going to get a room here. They're like, they just rejected those people. Like, why are you going in? And I was just like, I'm getting a room. I walk up and I was like, can we have a room? And they were like, hold on, and we'll just check and see if we've anything. And I was like, okay, fine. So we ended up getting like a room at the top, like without a bathroom, that must have been like maybe like people who worked in their hotel or something that they weren't using. Well, we did actually end up getting a room, but I was like, we're gonna be here, like this is happening, I don't care, we are 100% getting a room, because it was getting late.
And was that one of your like earlier in your like was that one of your kind of like, oh, you know, maybe I made that happen? Like, was that one of your early manifestation stories, do you think?
I think it's similar to your feeling about me with the restaurants. Is my friends are always like, if she wants it, it's just definitely going to happen, because she's just so
ignorant.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, there's
scary.
Yeah, there's no shifting me. I'm like, think about that answer. So I wonder how much of it is brute force or manifestation. That's a good point. Jack, cut this out.
It's like, yeah, yet again, I think it's a bit of both.
Yeah,
they could,
but it's a belief, though. Like,
it's a belief. And I think, I just would really guess that some of it is like you're imagining sleeping in a nice bed that night. You're imagining sleeping in a bed.
There's no
You're not
option.
imagining, oh shit, we're going to be screwed and, you know, we're going to be walking the streets at 1 a.m. Like, that's probably not what you were imagining as much as you were imagining being in a nice bed.
Yeah, no, nice bed. Nice bed is all that was in my head.
How about you, Jade? Any early day manifestation stories that you're like, weird, you know, when it happened? Or did you always know about manifestation?
I didn't know, not really. Like, I only kind of got into this kind of stuff after I had I had a mental breakdown, and it kind of led me into holistics and stuff. And then I kind of started reading The Secret and like different books about law of attraction and different things like that. And I wanted to, after that breakdown, I decided, because I was holistically, they had to like look at all areas of my life and stuff, and I decided I wanted to get into holistics. So I wanted to go to college, and I didn't have any money to go to college, and I had this big plan of like opening up a holistic hub in Clonakilty, and having like my own business with a massive clientele. And you know, I had it all written down from start to finish on in my diary. Like, I love looking back on it now and being like, oh my God, I can't believe I achieved all of that, you know, that I'd written down. That I did go to college. I did get the best, results that I could possibly get. And
which was all a big deal, because you had a son young. You had more to juggle than everyone else your age.
Working and in college 5 days a week for 2 years, and that working to put myself through college. Now, I was very lucky that I also got accepted onto VITAS with I was paid to kind of go to college, and they paid for my college fees and stuff like that. But like that, I didn't know. So I started college, and they were looking for money and stuff, and I still hadn't been accepted onto the VITAS, and I was like, how am I going to pay for this, you know? And then in October, the deadline for when the money needed to be paid, I got accepted onto the VITAS, and so the money turned up, you know. And it was just having that trust, being like, oh my God, I don't know how it's going to happen, but it's going to happen, don't worry, you know, just go for it. And the money turned up, and everything kind of like ticked off on all my plans. I opened up Rainbow Therapies, and won an award for having Rainbow Therapies, for a luxury travel award for my massage, and got the recognition I wanted to manifest. And once that was all ticked off, it all fell apart.
Oh yeah,
but that's okay too.
Yeah.
But like with that manifestation, I suppose I had a plan in my head on where I wanted to go. And then once the business got closed down and everything, I didn't really know what I wanted to do or where I wanted to go, and I left it up to the universe. Like, I sat with the trees for a very long time and just was like, I don't know what I'm going to do with my life. Show me where to go, and I trust that who and what I need will be provided for me. And then about a month later, I got a phone call asking would I do massage for a poker event, which has opened up a whole new range of doors for me, you know. So yeah, I've done manifestation through having an idea of what I wanted, and manifestation through not not having an idea of what I wanted and just trusting and going with the flow, you know.
I think that's another rule of it, though,
Yeah.
isn't it? It's like the how is none of your business.
Exactly.
This is it.
It's
Yeah.
kind of like
Yeah.
your business is to get to know the end point.
Yeah.
Like get to know the end point you want to be at
Yeah.
and familiarize yourself with being in the same mood or feeling or vibe or
As if
whatever.
you have it.
As
Yeah.
if you have it, I think.
Yeah.
And then it's like, it is kind of cool to realize that the how is not your job, because like I remember saying it to you, I'm sure, like that, like I noticed like my anxiety is terrible taste in men. Whereas the universe has amazing taste in men, like, you know, and it's kind of like you're kind of like getting to the nitty gritty of the like how and the when,
Yeah.
and is like, you know, Esther Hicks says it's like trying to cut the lawn with a nail scissors. It's like, you know, you're working so hard and you're not really getting anywhere.
Yeah.
And I think, to be honest, dieting is the same, because it's like so exhausting, counting calories, following plans, weighing yourself every day. You know, and then obviously like stuff like bowel contents or water retention, all these other factors in your body have to fluctuate. Like, so, you know, it's not going to be linear anyway. But all of that is like so much effort and you get nowhere. Like, it's just so depressing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Whereas, you know, having a little think about what would the end point be. Oh, I'd feel really confident, or
Yeah.
oh, I'd look in the mirror and say nice things, or I'd wear clothes that suit my figure, or, you know, and that's what's really like what I think so many people who've weight problems need to know about all this manifestation stuff,
Yeah.
because it happens so often when I'm starting with a new client. I'd be like, what are you sick of in your kind of current situation? And then it's like, okay, say I'm a witch and I have a magic wand and you're walking out of here at your ideal weight and your ideal relationship with food, and what would that change about today and this week? And it's like, they've no answers. So it's like they've done all the thinking about what they hate, they don't like, how scary it would be to get fatter or to stay at this weight or get diabetes. But it's kind of like, in terms of like, no. Who are you if you've got your ideal health?
Yeah.
Like, or who are you with your ideal relationship with food? Like, what would you sound like? You know,
How does
you,
that feel?
how does that
I think
feel?
Feeling of
Feeling is probably the top one, isn't it?
Huge, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah. How would you feel if you accomplished that, you know?
Yeah.
I love that. There is that sense of like of because everything is vibration, knowing that you are in the energy of that which you wish to attract, and surrendering to it is the whole point of manifestation. It's like, oh yeah, I have that figure, I have that job, I have that whatever it is, that sense of it is done and I feel it and I don't need to think about it anymore because I am there, and then it is.
Yeah, go off and do your other stuff.
Just
Yeah.
just let go of all of the energy that you're putting into like climbing or straining or, you know, the anxiety. Like, that's where you're wasting the energy. If the energy is in your body, if the feeling is in your body, if the thoughts are clear in your mind, then you will be that, you know?
And also just all that striving and whatever is showing your unworthiness, actually, because say if you were in a job interview or something and it's like, no, you totally got the job, like they were mad about you and, you know, you're perfect for it. But if you were like, no, seriously, I'm good, like I'm good, you know, I can do this, or say the same on a date or something like that. If you were kind of doing all this, like, you know, striving, it's like you're actually just showing that you don't think
believe.
you're an
Yeah.
ideal match. Because if you thought you were an ideal match, you'd just be being it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Relaxed into it. Yeah.
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 If you're struggling with your eating or your weight and you really need help but you can't sign up to my one-to-one program, maybe look into my group classes. I'm doing them online and you'll find all the information on my website, happyweight.ie. I think one of my earlier stories would be, first of all, Edinburgh. So my sister, who's 5 years older than me, one of her years in college, her and her friends went to Edinburgh for a summer. And, you know, she came back with all these cool stories of all these cool pubs and everything. So then I think, like, basically every night going to bed in the leaving cert, I imagined myself being in college in Edinburgh, you know, and then, like, that came true. And then just little things like that. Like, I remember one day, like, when I lived in Edinburgh, I think it was like my 19th or 20th birthday, I had the exact dress I wanted in my head. It was like cerise pink boob tube silky dress, and I was like, that is what I will be wearing tonight. And I went down to the shop at the end of Leith Walk or whatever, and I got it. It was there. It was the exact one. And just little ones like that, I think, before I knew The Secret and stuff, I was like, that's weird. And then I think The Secret is very triggering if you know, because obviously we all have shit in our life as well. So I think when you come across manifestation or The Secret, first of all, you're kind of like, well, hold on a second. There's also the whole me getting dealt, you know, a bad, you know, what's the word? Hand. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? But then you do realise, okay, there was a little part of you in some of the ongoing drama or whatever sometimes, do you know? So Trisha, if you had to give your top rules for manifestation, what do you think they are?
Clarity.
So being really clear on what you want.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Really, really clear. Deservability. Like that you actually deserve to have it. That you have an open... Really what I like to do is when I'm manifesting something, I either do a vision board or I write a Dear Diary entry or whatever it is. And as I'm writing it, because words are my thing, when I'm writing it and I feel like, oh, that's sticky, that's where I know there's a block, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I don't think that feels true, actually.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't feel true, you're not ready to have it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's the resistance. What's a really gorgeous exercise. So clarity, deservability, and release, surrender. You cannot tell how things will come. Like I knew I had, because I have, anyway, got a new job in August, but like I was like, I have work in August. I needed a job, and I was like, that's it. I have a job in August. I have a job in August, and that's the end of it. I was so certain about it that my friend was like, well, where did you get your, like, she kept on me like, fuck, I keep on forgetting that you don't actually have a job.
Yeah, you were.
Because I was like so clear. I was
you
like,
were talking as if.
it was done. I was like, it doesn't matter. I don't have to think about it anymore. And how it came about, because I obviously love astrology as well, and Venus is in retrograde in my second house of money, so it would have meant that like someone who you may have worked with before or an old way of earning money could have come back around during this time. And I was like, well, do you know, I'm going to go back work with my boss, one of the bosses that I had worked with before, and I'm going to do consulting, and this is what I'm going to do. And that's not what happened, actually. I knew that I'd get a job, but actually what happened was someone I used to work with in an old company in LA was in London, and my sister was home, and she was like, did you think about working for this? And then it was like this, in 1 week I had the job, and it was just like this, so I'll be working with her again. So like how we think it's going to come about is never how it comes about.
But that's the whole thing. It's kind of like
surrender piece that you need.
And it's like the universe is just such better taste in how it comes about.
Absolutely.
Like it's way more fun.
Yeah.
Like
I think, and so the cutting the lawn with the scissors is the deterrence, the, you know, being clear on whether you think you're deserving of it, or whether you're good enough, or whether you're whatever enough to have it, and being very clear. Because if there's mixed, you know, if you're like, I want this, but I also want this, and I want this, like they're conflicting, then the universe is like, I'm not quite sure what you want.
Not sure,
then it can't be delivered. So clarity, deservability, and surrender.
Yeah, because someone asked me to do a video on like how do I stay motivated, and like as someone who dieted for 15 years, like I get the question. Like she's kind of like, how do you hate your body, hate what you're eating, continue to stay motivated to restrict and track and weigh yourself and feel awful but stay in it? And it's like, so I know that's where the question's coming from.
Yeah, it's a wrong question. Or
it totally is, because it's like, if you're in that trying energy, you're wrong already.
Yeah.
Because they're like, you know, like, and I think with weight, like, as in that's what I learned myself. there's a big difference between the energy of being your ideal weight versus the energy of being a fat girl trying to get slim. And I was always in the energy of a fat girl trying to get slim. And you just either stay the same or attract situations where you end up eating more, or you can't exercise, or, you know, all these things. And it's kind of like, so it's like that trying energy is like, I think that's the thing you have to moonwalk out of the minute you find yourself in that like trying, striving, doing it all by yourself kind of.
Yeah.
And Jade, what would your kind of top criteria be for manifesting, do you think?
Definitely clarity. I think being clear in what you want is huge. And trust is just trusting, you know, like I have struggled with money for a long time, like being a young single mother, there's always been like a bill to pay, and it's just knowing that money, I don't know, it's just a trust. It's like a really deep inner trust that even when I have only £2 in my wallet or whatever, that whatever I need money for is going to turn up, and not to get into the fear of what if it doesn't turn up, or what if, you know, and like, 'cause the fear can take you away from what you're trying to. So I if I do go into that energy, I just have to like breathe and be like, it's coming, it's okay, you will be looked after, you know, and just to have that trust that whatever it is that, you know, whether it's your weight or money or a job or whatever, that you will always be provided for and you will always be looked after. The universe is really abundant and it wants to give you what you want, and it's, or what you need even, you know. And yeah, trust is a huge thing for me, and that's hard to do when you're in the, you know, when you don't have the money and your, you know, your electricity bill is due next week or whatever, and then you've got another million things to pay for or whatever. It's hard to trust and believe that it's coming, but it's worked every single time for me, you know. It's and it's something actually my granddad always said to me, is like, money will always turn up, don't worry about money, it will always turn up. And so I have been taught that from a very young age as well.
But I think then on a practical basis as well, it you know, it changes your energy. Yeah. Because like even there, I remember when I moved into the new office and there was just a zillion bills came at once or whatever, for whatever reason, I was just very, very zen. And
relaxed,
I was like,
yeah.
It will all get sorted or whatever. And it did. But I kind of think that if I had freaked out, I would have ruined earning opportunities. Absolutely. Basically, do you know what I mean?
You'd have blocked opportunities from coming to you. Yeah.
And I wouldn't have been in the creative space, you know, to make smart decisions and stuff like that. You know, there's a little bit of that. But like you and your son, like, was so young, and then it's like, that's mad the way that always happens in life, that it's like your hard time was actually after that then. Yeah. So you got through raising him as a young woman, and you did all of that and did an amazing job. Yeah. And it was after that then you hit your hard time.
Well, I wouldn't say that. I've always struggled. Like, you know, like I got pregnant in school in 5th year, so like I never had a bean, but like that we didn't have anywhere to live, and we were 4 months on the council house list and got offered a council house. There's just been extremely, I'd say lucky, but just where the universe has provided, you know, for us. But yeah, I wouldn't say that it's been easy raising him, because I no, his dad's great and everything, but I have done it on my own, really. But yeah, to have rainbow therapies built up and everything, and then to have all that kind of taken away, that was, because, you know, I kind of felt like I've made it. Like I have created this business. I've reached the, you know, where I wanted to be, and then for that rug to be pulled from underneath me, and to be back in a position of like, where am I going to get money from? How am I going to make money? Like,
and who am I?
Yeah,
without the identity of that.
Of rainbow therapies, it was a scary place to be in, and I just put all the trust in the universe, you know, that's because I didn't even know what I wanted. Because as much as I was sad that I lost rainbow therapies, I worked extremely hard to keep the place running. You know, I had to do an awful lot of work to be able to just pay the bills of that place and stuff. So I wanted to still make money but not work as hard. And then I didn't even know poker massage was a thing. And it came to me, but it was that trust that something would
And
turn up.
you wouldn't have even known of that to research it. Like,
No,
do you know what I
no,
mean? Like, that's
didn't.
something that would have had to come to you.
To
like,
me. And it was through a friend of a friend, and they were looking for Irish therapists to work for the Irish Open, and she rang me and she was like, oh, you're probably not going to be interested in this, but I said I'd ask you anyway. And I'd promised the universe or the trees or whatever I was talking to at the time that, like, whatever opportunity came my way, I'd say yes to it. So I was like
don't second guess.
yeah. And like, I'd been single for a very long time, and I also met my boyfriend at the first Irish Open as well, you know, so there was a lot manifested in that one yes, you know.
There was a lot of rewards for trusting there, wasn't there?
Yeah.
Like, and we were talking before we pressed record about like what makes us feel abundant. And you were kind of saying that you had a time that like your self-esteem was low, or you just weren't kind of used to so it's kind of like
looking after myself was a huge, like, I didn't take care of myself because I always had to put Cameron first, or there was always everything else that went, you know, even Rainbow Therapies, the business was before me. I worked myself to the ground or whatever, and I just, that's what makes me feel abundant now, is self-care, like just getting my nails done, getting my hair done, treating myself to a massage. I'm like, oh, I love myself.
yeah, I think gestures make such a big difference or something, like, because I honestly sometimes think, like, I don't know, getting a pot coffee or something, like, as in like, you know, you can kind of find many little things to feel abundant, especially if you want to see it that way, kind of thing.
Yeah, and it's like we were saying, what is abundance to you? You know, that just being in nature is like so special. I feel so lucky, especially after spending 2 weeks in London. Like, I feel so lucky that we live where we live, and we can just go on a beach, and we've got all this space and freedom and fresh air, and you know, we're so lucky.
Like, I came back from Portugal the other week, and I was like, you know, you don't notice it because you're used to it, but like, the air is fragrant. Like, the air at home smells of like flowers and plants and all the rest of it, and you only notice that if you've been in a place with like less life, basically. Do you know? How about you, Trisha? What makes you feel like abundant?
I love
keep it PG.
Yeah, I love abundance. I love abundance so much. I love abundance. Well, like, my go-to thing that would like reset everything is a bath.
Nice.
I draw a bath, oils, crystals, roses, make a nice cup of cacao, lovely music, get in, and I am the happiest woman. I love
cacao
that.
is a very rich thing as well, isn't it?
It's great.
And then moisturising yourself with a nice moisturiser afterwards. Oh, yeah.
I basically set an altar for myself. And then you are the altar.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, your body is the altar, your soul, that nourishment, that reconnection, nature. Yeah, I love that. What else makes me feel abundant? Paris.
So you're going really for actual rich stuff.
I was like, it's like rich stuff makes me feel abundant.
But you're very into like smelly candles and nice cozy blankets.
And textures, and I love all those things, like all of the.
You're a pure Taurus.
I'm a pure Taurus, like, you know, duck feather, like duvet, leather shoes, wool coat. I'm a Taurus. That is it. Yeah, good coat. I had a good coat. I know, but like, it's so materialistic, but I love a good coat. A great coat makes an outfit. I love wearing good clothes.
Yeah.
I know this is all very materialistic, but they do make me feel really abundant, to dress well, to like adorn my body, to like, you know, to meditate in the morning, to make that space, to like carve out that time to meet my soul, makes me realize like how eternal I am, and how surrounded I am by like an abundance of love. Like, that is the go-to from the morning, and then the rest is a playing field for me. Then as a human, I'm like, well, here we are, like, just having nice food, hanging out, like, doing nice things, like, do you know, and
But I think the materialistic stuff, there's
nothing wrong with
totally nothing wrong with it, because even like, you know, this is a life experience,
Yeah, we've
and
gotta
it's
experience
all
it
that's
all.
all part of the life experience. And you know, it's just that like you can't get sad enough to make sad people happy. You can't get poor enough to make poor people richer. It's like it actually goes the other way around.
Yeah.
Like if you create abundance for yourself in any way, then your cup is overflowing.
Yeah.
You've
love
more
it.
to give to others.
I love giving as well. Like when I'm abundant and I can give is like, I just love it. I'm just like, I love paying for things for people. I love buying nice things. I love sharing nice things, like making nice food and sharing it. I love being in service. When I'm in service to people as well, it makes me feel really abundant. Like to feel
you had something to give and share, and people benefited from it.
Like I was teaching for this year, and I was doing a lot of one-on-one teaching, and being able to like to show up in that capacity and teach was really, I just felt really like full of love, like full of like just, and I felt like I received so much of it back, like in a way where there was such a giving and receiving of like nourishment and like, I don't know how to explain it. Like I just felt like, God, I was really lucky to be around those kids. They were so special, like, you know, and you know, hopefully they learned some things from me, and that came from a real pure place in me that I really wanted to meet them where they were at, and to see them as, you know, whole humans who were going through their own stuff. And because I met them there, then they met me as a human, and it was this lovely just really abundant time where I didn't have that much money, but I was so happy. I felt so full every day. Like,
but that's
and I was living with my parents, which, you know, at 35 isn't ideal, but I was like really building a really beautiful relationship with my parents, and, you know, friendship, like as adults. Because it's the first time I've lived at home for such a long time, and it was like this really rich experience where it wasn't materialistic, but it was really soulful, and that was really abundant too, you know. But also I love Paris. I was in Paris last Christmas.
As well as Erlingford.
Yeah.
Also Paris. But yeah, human connection is definitely another kind of form of wealth, because I don't know what's going on with me this week, but like on Tuesday when I was in Cork, this old man started talking to me at the traffic lights, this kind of guy in his 70s, I'd say. And just like, you know, I was like, you know, chat away to him. So we were walking down the street for ages chatting until we had to go our respective direction. And then the same happened today. Another old lad. And, you know, it was actually quite nice. Do you know what I mean? And I was kind of like, this is the whole thing that, like, if you were just on screens all day and all night, like, you're going to miss this. And I was just kind of thinking how, you know, because there's a lot of programming, like, that we have as kids that then there needs to be a huge software update when we're adults. Because I was kind of thinking, you know, as a kid, you're told, don't talk to strangers. And as an adult, the best things in life are talking to strangers. It's like, you don't know, like, you know, what their life is like or what stories they'll tell or whatever.
You know, I often think, like, where are they at? Do they have anyone today? Do you know?
Yeah,
like a smile.
It's definitely as much, like, for you always have to kind of think, like, it's maybe for them more than you kind of thing.
And like your actual, like, making eye contact with them and like acknowledging their existence could change their day if they live alone, you know, like to actually someone to see them and recognize them, and for you to have the capacity and ability and abundance of your own self to do that for another,
which
is like
we
a
can't
great
always
gift.
do, you know. There's some days you want to be invisible, or you're in a bad mood,
and some days you're the person who needs someone to acknowledge you, you know what I mean? Some days, like, you're the person who needs a bunch of flowers brought to your door, like a nice cake or whatever it is, like sometimes, and that's the boomerang of the universe, is that the days you can give, you give, and the days that you receive, you learn to receive, and that opens you up to greater receiving and greater giving. And like, you know, there's no greater joy. Like, you know, I've just bought my first house, and I'm like, what makes me so happy about the house, it's not that I have whatever a house, it's more that I'm like, I cannot wait to like host people, I cannot wait to like cook meals, I cannot wait to like
give people a nice time,
to like have garden parties, to like, you know, have wine and cheese and like, you know, movie nights, and, you know, my nieces over, and like, just, I can't wait to just share life. Like, you know, that excitement about like sharing whatever you have is like, it just makes it tenfold for me. Like,
I don't know, it just reminded me, I was talking to a client today, and like, you know, I just have to play devil's advocate a little bit about, like, you know, that thing, also still going to be there when you're a lighter weight. That
Yeah.
also still going to be there when you're lighter. Because it's kind of like, that's the most kind of crippling thing about a weight problem. People can be like, my whole life is wrong.
I know.
Because
Yeah.
I am this size. And it's kind of like, there actually might be like, you can't change your weight in a day.
Yeah.
But maybe if something's upsetting you, you can do something about that. But you can't do something about it if you say, oh, my low mood today is because of my weight.
Yeah.
You know, and I just kind of, I really think that's a thing that people need to know as well, that it's like your low mood is pretty much never about your weight. But when you are in a low mood, you blame your weight.
Yeah.
And it's a kind of, it's emotional dysregulation that we don't know how to regulate our emotions. So we go back to the same one fight that we always have versus being kind of like, okay, whether I was size 8 or size 80, I could be feeling like this.
Yeah.
And,
Of course.
you know, that's kind of, so it's not my weight or diet I need to focus on today. It's maybe processing this mood or doing something that makes me feel better, but giving out about the circumference of my thighs is not related.
I know, but like it all comes back to even what you know about that thing you were saying about what you thought when you were younger about happiness. Like it's, as I get older, I realize that the stronger my language would be, you know, my core self, my soul, my connection, my identity with my soul is, I see that as like the true light of me, and everything outside of that is transient, right? And the more that I can connect into my true core self, the less that I see someone's mood as defining me, you know? So if I'm not if I'm not connected to my core self, it's very easy for me to be swayed by life, do you know?
Yes.
Yeah.
Whereas if I am connected to my soul and I'm tuned into something greater, if I'm tuned into, I don't know what the language I should be using here for this, but that's my language, is my soul. The true essence of who I am is a spiritual being here, having a human experience. Yes, the human experience is rich and poor, and it's suffering and joy and all the things, but at the essence of me is eternal, and I know I'll never stay in one space all the time, and that's okay. But the essence of me is always there.
Hey, I hope you're enjoying this episode. If you're starting to realize that you definitely do need help with your eating and your relationship with food, you could sign up to the Happy Hypno Weight program. It's €99. It's on my website, and it's full of recordings and hypnosis sessions to help change your mindset. Just go to happyweight.ie for more details.
Bringing it back to manifestation and stuff. Do you know, if say now, if I was like telling people that maybe didn't have my best interests at heart, about what I wanted to manifest, then they're putting in
pot of worry.
Like maybe it's worry, maybe it's that they don't want me to achieve it and stuff like that, and that can prevent you. Always keep your cards close to your chest with your manifestations and stuff as well, you know, because not everyone has your best interests at heart either.
I know, because when you mention stuff, like, because it's happened to me when I mention it and then I get a reaction that's negative, I can feel the anvil in my gut being like, oh, my whole body drops, right?
Yeah, I pretty much didn't tell anyone about leaving my job or starting my business until it was all in the works.
Yeah, done.
And you know, like, I absolutely proved to myself that that was the right thing to do, because some of the comments when I had said I had done that were all negative.
Yeah.
So, like, you know, because people are scared for you or whatever. So I've learned to do that a lot. It's like, tell people once it's done.
Yeah. Yeah.
I remember my sister was telling me she was worried about something. I was like, get your worry off me. It's like, ugh, like, yuck. Because it's kind of like, it's like bad praying.
Yeah.
It's like praying for a bad thing to happen. So it's kind of like, don't you see me in that light?
Yeah.
Like, whatever visualization.
She was worrying for you.
For worrying about me. It's kind of like whatever you're visualizing there of me not doing okay or it not working out for me is like, please take those visions out of your head. Thank you very much.
No, I get really mad about that as well. Like if someone is like, and I was, it's like really not. You're like, don't add that into my vortex. Don't put that in.
But I wonder, any final thoughts? Any final thoughts on manifestation?
Working with the moon too.
Oh,
I love working
yeah.
with the moon.
I love the moon.
For like, we're going too witchy maybe on this, probably.
Why not? Why not? When in
Maybe
Rome.
we were like,
When in Rome.
how deep
Like,
can we go?
Jade and Trisha have been keeping a very sensible lid on things.
I went down the soul rabbit hole.
yeah,
I couldn't take
I
that
was
back.
like,
Sorry about that. Jackson got that
this
out.
is as like tame and light as it could be, but yeah.
Yeah.
And working together is like
Oh, we're-
the three
yeah.
of us. Like,
Oh
the
yes,
three,
we
like,
forgot.
the three
We have
of
a
us
little manifestation gang.
little witchy manifestation gang,
To speak your manifestations.
and to speak them to people that want to want you to manifest, you
And
know?
believe it.
and believe that you're going
Yeah.
to do it. Yeah, it's beautiful.
Because I think that's the thing. You have to like bring it down to your level or go up to its level. Being like, it's not a big deal. Like, as in when
Yeah.
we were manifesting Trisha's new house, which she got, it's like it's just not a big deal.
And we're like, that's done. We're like,
That's
okay,
done.
we'll stop talking about
Anyways,
this.
yeah, you know, and it was kind of like just and that's what I think chatting to people, you know,
believe in
who
you.
believe in
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
is really good, because it's like, yeah, like,
You got this.
yeah,
Like,
obviously,
yeah.
like, no big deal. So yeah, that's another good one. Okay, thanks so much for listening, everyone, and thank you so much, Jade, for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you, Trisha. Oh, now you come into the mic. Now you move. Thank you. Thank you. 52 minutes in, you move.
You are welcome.
Okay, thanks, everyone. Bye. 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 Hi, thank you so much for listening. I wonder, could you do me a massive favor and maybe subscribe to this podcast, and click rate and review and rate the podcast. It would help me hugely, and would also help get it in front of people who might need a bit of support with their eating and weight. So thank you so much. Mwah.